Oh, welcome back everyone. It's David, and today we're going to discuss something that's magical, or maybe it's just math. And we're going to discuss the law of averages, how it affects you, and what you can do to influence it. So, what is the law of averages? Well, the law of averages basically states that in future events, that any deviation from an expected average will balance itself out. Basically, if you had a string of events happen to you in, let's say, a positive or negative fashion, that will change. But the thing about the law of averages is that it's a real thing. If you are a person in life and you're trying to achieve goals, right? Whether they be business or personal, if you try hard enough and you keep hitting, keep digging away, keep digging, you are bound to succeed at what you want. Because the law of averages states that, hey, listen, if I spend 20 years trying to dig for gold and I keep missing, you're eventually gonna strike gold. But the question is, will you strike gold when you're able to still use the gold, or you can sell the gold or do whatever you want or make cool necklaces with the gold? That's the question. So yes, depending on where you are in the world, the law of averages will apply to just about everyone and anything. And a lot of people lately, they've been coming to me, they're like, well, you know, I'm just not having enough luck. You know, I'm trying to do X, I'm trying to do this in my business, or I'm trying to create this business, or I'm trying to learn how to do this, and it's just not happening. Well, guess what? You know, I hate to be that guy, but that means that you haven't tried enough. You haven't failed enough. And in other videos, I talk about this, where you failing is a part of that average process. Eventually, you're going to strike. And I begin to tell you how many times it's happened to me. I've had so many business opportunities and like micro businesses within my 20 plus years of being in business for myself. But the law of averages have come to help me out at times where I was like, oh wow, I can't believe this worked. And I got such a great result to make up for everything else. But if I didn't keep going, if I said, oh well, I'm gonna give up now, I'm gonna stop, then I would have been disheartened, and now I've kind of reset myself in that frame, okay? Because you have to realize something. The law of averages is relative to the frame. So when we talk about the frame, well, is it in business? Is it in relationships? Is it in, you know, your physical health? Like, you know, if you go to the gym and you're doing the same exercise, yeah, it's probably not gonna give you any real benefit, right? But if you try different exercises and the law of averages say, okay, well, this exercise is great for me, I have great results for this. You know, hey, you know, I'm doing stock picks like this is having great results for me, but maybe you fail at stocks in 10 years. God knows that I failed at stocks many times years ago, and I had to fail, and then the law of averages says, oh, okay, now you win, here you go. You know, there are people literally in sales that will call 100 people a day. Maybe 20% that don't answer the phone, 20% more that tell him no, 20% that say, oh, I'm not really sure, another 15% that aren't even the right phone numbers, and then you have maybe some mixed reviews for the rest of the percentage. They literally can go with 2 or 3 days and go all those calls and not get any results, and then all of a sudden, guess what? Boof! They get the big fish. They weren't even expecting it, and they get the big fish. So maybe they were having a call, an account, or a potential client, and then out of nowhere, they got the bigger fish they didn't even expect it, because that percentage made up for it. So the law of averages kicked in and said, hey, guess what? You get X. You get Y. And sometimes you kind of gotta keep a step back and actually think about it and look and be grateful, because if you look at it and you see that averages, all these things could have happened to you, that is the most important thing, is understanding the law of averages, knowing that you're gonna go through hard times in life, knowing that things are gonna be difficult, understanding that you've gotta pile through it, you've gotta keep going, you have to move forward in that frame. That is the law of averages, my friend. I think that anybody who's having a tough time out there, whether it be spiritually, financially, they just have a really shitty life happening right this second, just understand that it can change, and it will change because the law of averages say so. All right, my friends, well, that is the law of averages. Hey, listen, do me a favor. If you haven't done already, just take 2 seconds to hit that subscribe button. It helps me notify you when we have more awesome that comes down the pipe. And we have a lot of cool stuff in the works, like the new podcast, the new Q&A sessions, and of course, these 2 minutes to success, which is probably more than 2 minutes, but hey, it's really interesting stuff. And listen, do me a favor. I'm really curious. Why don't you leave a few comments below about some of the things that you've done that you thought were impossible, or that may have kind of factored into the law of averages. I really like to hear it. There's a lot of crazy stories out there, and it's always a good time. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.